Good evening, everybody. This is Wednesday night. It's third week of lockdown, and this is just my sort of midweek check-in with everybody. And tonight, I just want to chat about a couple of things, and maybe most importantly, just connect. And maybe the first thing to say is I really do hope that you had a blessed Easter weekend. We've had some feedback from folk who've said that they've found it very meaningful. Kind of being locked down slowed everybody down and meant that they were able to reflect a little bit more on the message of Easter. And I really do hope that you had an opportunity to reflect and think about the message of Easter. What's been significant for me as well is we started with the John Challenge for lockdown, and the way it's worked out, we knew that John would finish at the end of the original lockdown, and that put us on chapter 19 yesterday and chapter 20 today. So just after Easter weekend, I read through the crucifixion yesterday and the resurrection today, and that's kind of extended Easter for me, and that's made it very meaningful. And I hope that for you, this has been meaningful as well. And just while I'm talking about the John Challenge, those of you who've done it, please do share what that's meant to you. Drop me a WhatsApp or an email and share a little bit about what that's meant to you. And I'll be putting out a new reading challenge for our next 2 weeks sometime tomorrow. Wanted to check in with you. What are the things that you're doing? What are you keeping yourselves busy with? I've had pictures and photos of people who've been baking, doing woodwork. Some have been just hard at work. You've been able to work from home, or you're having to go into work, and so you're working quite hard. Some folk have been doing jigsaw puzzles. Folk have been cooking, reading. What have you been keeping yourself busy with? We haven't bathed the cat again, but I have been trying to ride my bicycle a little bit and do a bit of tidying up at home. But mostly I've been just involved in preparing services and staying in touch with people. But I do hope that you're doing well. Oh, and Brenda cut my hair as well. So that's been one of the fun things that we've had to do. And we're still talking to each other, which is good news. Just a couple of thoughts from my side. The first is that with lockdown being extended by another 2 weeks, for many of us, that's going to be quite a stretch. And I think there are just a couple of thoughts that I've had, and you can read all over the internet and emails that people are sending, the advice that people give for surviving during this lockdown period. And people talk about, and I've made a list of 5 things. Keep a routine. Number 1, keep a routine. Make your bed, get dressed each day. Those simple routines speak of life having structure and purpose and meaning. The second is, if you're alone, please make sure that you have 1 or 2 meaningful contacts each day, whether it's a phone call or a WhatsApp call or a video chat with somebody. But please make sure you connect with 1 or 2 people. Number 3, and this has been challenging for me because it's so easy to just sit at my desk and work and work and work and work. It's important to keep moving. So, and people are being really creative about doing little workouts and jogging on the spot or finding a spot in the garden, but make sure that you keep moving. Number 4, set goals and reward yourself if you achieve those goals. And number 5, spend time with God. And during this time, we're going to need as much strength as we can get. And so set aside some time to be with God. So that's just some practical thoughts about getting through lockdown. The second thing that I wanted to say is, please do stay in communication with us. If you need practical assistance, some shopping done because you're vulnerable and your health is at risk, please don't hesitate. We've got folk in the congregation who are willing to go and do shopping or picking up prescriptions, those kinds of things. Please let us know. Also, if you're taking strain during this time, make contact. And we're available to pray with you, to talk to you. If there's any way that we can support you, please do let us know. And then the third thing that I want us to think about in these last 2 weeks of lockdown is that there are some fantastic initiatives going on out there. There are folk making masks, cloth masks. There are folk making masks with 3D printers and acetate sheets. There's all sorts of very worthwhile projects going on out there that we can be involved in. And I want to say, if you're involved in something like that, if you're in a mask making project, or if you're in a prayer circle for a specific group of people, or if you're making financial donations, or if you're supporting some sort of outreach or work that's being done at this time, please don't hesitate to give me the details about that. And I'm going to be adding a section to our lockdown page of worthwhile initiatives. One of the things that people are doing are starting to prepare for what's coming in terms of when our cases do increase and when there is pressure on our systems, that there are things that folk are collecting or preparing for, or causes that are being supported right now. And if you know of any worthwhile initiative, let me know so that I can put those details up on our website. And then I want to encourage all of us to go and look at those things and say, where could I make a difference? Where could I pray? Where could I donate? Where could I give a financial support to? But we're going to need to do that. So please let me know of projects that you're aware of. Fourth thing I want to say is that I really want you to know that we are praying for you. And specifically this evening, I want to say to our kids who are starting school by doing distance education and getting your homework on WhatsApp or emails, kids, we're praying for you. Teachers, we're praying for you. You're completely out of your comfort zone, having to try and teach at a distance, and you're learning to do things that you've never done before. We're praying for you. Our medical people, you are in the moment in the calm before the storm, and in some ways that's almost more nerve-wracking as you wait. And we have a number of doctors, nurses, medical professionals who are going to be right on the front lines. We are praying for you. Those of you who are going through financial difficulties at this time, you've had a massive loss of income, we're praying for you. And I really want you to know that I've been making it my business to pray, and we really do want to be remembering folk at this time and carrying them in prayer. The fifth thing that I want to do is to end with a short devotion. And our devotion is both for moms and dads and for the kids. The verse that I want to read from is from 1 Peter chapter 1. And I'm going to read the passage, and then Peter talks about gold refined like fire. And I've got a short video clip that I found that I want the kids to have a look at, where you'll see how metal is refined and you'll understand what Peter is talking about. So I'm going to read the passage first and then talk about it briefly for the kids, and then secondly for moms and dads. So our reading is from 1 Peter chapter 3. Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. In his great mercy, he has given us new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, and into an inheritance that can never perish, spoil, or fade, that is kept in heaven for us, who through faith are shielded by God's power until the coming of the salvation that is ready to be revealed in the last time. In this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials. These have come so that your faith, which is of greater worth than gold, which perishes even though refined by fire, may be proved genuine and may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. Though you have not seen him, you love him. And even though you do not see him now, you believe in him and are filled with inexpressible and glorious joy. Now, boys and girls, Peter talks about our faith being like gold. And gold, when you mine it, often has all sorts of impurities and stuff in it that isn't good to have. And so, because gold is a very heavy metal, one of the cool things you can do is you simply heat gold up and you melt it, and the gold, because it's heavy, sinks down to the bottom, and then all the impurities float to the top. And in the video that you're watching now, you're seeing how a lady is heating the gold up and how it melts, and then with a spoon she's busy scraping off the gold that is, at least the impurities that have drifted to the top. And what Peter is saying is that sometimes hard times come our way, and when they do, that it's like heat that heats us up, and sometimes it even feels like we're melting. But God is able to do a beautiful thing, that when we go through these tough times, he comes and he cleans off all the horrible stuff that floats to the surface, and we come out better and stronger. And so although it's not fun to be far away from your friends, and although it's not fun to be able to have to be at home, at least the good news is that God can bring good out of this difficult time. And so I really want you to think about that and take courage from that. So although this is a difficult time, know that God's going to bring good out of it. Just like that gold comes out beautiful and clean and pure, we'll come out of this difficult time better and stronger. Now, to moms and dads, I want to say that I wrote a daily devotion today that spoke a little bit about lockdown being like a cocoon, that during this time we have an opportunity to prepare. When we come out of lockdown, we will emerge from our cocoons as new creatures, but we will emerge into a new world. And our new world is going to ask a lot of us. We're going to face challenges in terms of the economy, in terms of supporting people who are going through difficult times. We're going to need to be at our very, very best. We're going to need to reach out into new levels of generosity, new levels of mindfulness, new measures of compassion. We're going to need to be more creative than ever before to solve the problems that are in front of us. We're going to have to be more generous than ever before and make bigger sacrifices than ever before. Peter, in the same passage that I read earlier, goes on a few verses later to say, therefore, prepare your minds for action. Be self-controlled and alert. Set your hope fully on the grace to be given you when Jesus Christ is revealed. And I guess what I want to say is we have a 2-week opportunity in which we need to grow our souls, to prepare ourselves for what lies ahead. We can be intimidated or we can be excited. I'm excited. I think there are going to be opportunities for us as the church to shine, to make a difference, to be the ones who lead the way in terms of compassion and creativity and care and kindness. It means we're going to have to think beyond ourselves and into the bigger picture. And my prayer is that we would all set about getting ready. Use this time. Use this time. Get ready. We've got work to do. Father, as we think through all that we've already got behind us, 2 3/4 weeks of lockdown and Easter weekend, and we did Easter at home, and it was meaningful. And you have guided us and carried us thus far. It's my prayer, Lord, that you will be with us in these next 2 weeks, that we would grow and not shrink, that we would become all that you have called us to be, and that you would guide us and lead us. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. A couple of folk have sent me a beautiful picture this week of Satan standing next to God saying, ha, 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 I closed down the churches with COVID-19. And God says to him, well, I opened a church in every home. And that's been one of the exciting things, is that during this time, we've seen God really at work. So my closing thought to leave with you, or my closing fun request, is that we're going to need to record a couple more Sunday services in this fashion in lockdown state. And I'm thinking about adding some more songs. And so in the next couple of days, I'm going to be playing some songs on the guitar and then sending those out to people who'd like to sing and add their voices to that. If you want to be one of those singers, if you've got a bit of time and you're not scared to sing to your cell phone, then please drop me a message and say, I want to sing, and we'll add you to our virtual choir. Folks, that's everything that I've got to say. Maybe, friends, you can just bring right throughout all this recording, a certain furry feline has been parading around the place, climbing up on this and jumping onto that. And so we'll just give him his opportunity. Jedediah, say hello to everybody. Hello, everybody. Folks, good night. God be with you. Lots of love. Our prayers and thoughts are with you. And let's pray for one another, support one another, and serve God during this lockdown time. God be with you and give you his peace. Amen.